Section 8. The Birth of Life. 2. The Birth of Human Spirits and Other Life Forms. So far, I have been discussing the creation of the greater universe, but now I will focus on Earth's solar system and describe the process of creation of individual souls. The exact timing of the birth of the first human soul in the greater universe is unclear. However, it is unquestionably true that the three-dimensional universe first took shape 40 billion years ago, and that after the arrival of our solar system in the three-dimensional system, planets were born and various living creatures began to appear on these planets. The first living creature in our solar system appeared on the planet Venus. Before Venus was created, our solar system was uninhabitable. Venus first took form 6 billion years ago, but it would take another 500 million years before the ninth dimensional world of our solar system would be created. When it was created 5.5 billion years ago, a more active and dynamic spirit than the 10th dimensional spirit was also created to govern the living creatures that would develop on that planet. This personified form of the consciousness of planet Venus became the very first grand spirit of the ninth dimension. He was a spirit advanced to the highest degree. His name was El Miore. The first experimental creatures that El Miore introduced to the third dimension on Venus were half animal and half plant. Their upper bodies were lilies, they walked on 2 legs, and a thick growth of leaves covered their backs, supplying them with energy through photosynthesis. Self-sustainability and longevity were true characteristics of this prototypical creature. Next, El Miore separated plants from animals and let them evolve for about 2 billion years. In their beauty and grace, the plants and animals on Venus differed from those that would later develop on planet Earth. Venusian plants had jewel-like flowers that perfumed the air with heavenly scents, while the animals were elegant and refined. Some could even talk. Eventually, El Miore created a race of Venusians that more closely resembled the human beings that exist on our planet today. For over 1 billion years, he continued to refine and recreate these human Venusians as they lived through the rise and fall of countless civilizations. As a result, Venusians advanced to the point of being able to visit other solar systems on spaceships. In their final stage of evolution, Venusians looked like modern Earth people, but were far more intelligent, possessing IQs of over 300. And in their pearlescent radiance, Venusians looked more like celestial beings than human beings. Venusian women possessed such beauty that the most beautiful women on Earth would look simian by comparison. On their planet, the Venusians built a utopian society based on the pursuit of love, wisdom, self-reflection, and progress. When the level of love, beauty, intelligence, and achievement of ideals developed, the entire planet reached such heights that it approached the state of the 7th dimensional world of bodhisattvas. El Miore received the following message from the primordial Buddha of the greater universe. The experiment with civilization on Venus has been a brilliant success. It has exceeded all expectations. A state of perfect harmony has been achieved, making any further progress impossible. Tragically, a massive volcanic eruption will soon occur, making it difficult for advanced life forms to survive any longer on this planet. Therefore, many of its inhabitants should emigrate to star clusters friendly to Venus and help in their evolution. The remaining spirits should stay in Venus's spirit world for several 100,000 years, and the advanced spirits of this group will contribute to the creation of a new spirit group on neighboring Earth. Planet Earth will be a completely blank slate where you will be creating a brand new utopia. You shall invite foreign souls from unknown stars and educate them, which will contribute to the Milky Way galaxy's evolution. While Venus was undergoing its experiment with civilization and developing into an advanced planet, the three consciousnesses of the Earth's 10th dimension had been planning the creation of life on Earth. They decided to build a greater emphasis on dynamic evolution into the structure of Earth's spirit group, because Earth's environment was favorable to this approach. Acting on the advice of El Miore, the three spirits of the 10th dimension, the sun consciousness, the moon consciousness, and the earth consciousness, decided to establish two major principles for life on planet Earth. The first principle gave diversity to the level of advancement of life forms in the third dimension. They created tiers that established more and less advanced creatures. The second principle was to limit the lifespan of all creatures and introduce a system of reincarnation that would allow them to live in cycles between this world and the multidimensional world. Based on the first principle, simple organisms like amoebas and plankton were created on our planet approximately 3 billion years ago. These became the basis of all animal life. About 2.6 billion years ago, mold and other fungal growths were created and became the precursors to vegetable life. Gradually, increasingly complex life forms were created and sent to the third dimension. In accordance with the second principle, the bottom tier of the spirit world was created first, although this would later develop into the fourth dimensional posthumous world. At the time, it was not clearly differentiated. It resembled a misty veil without defined boundaries, hovering above land. Early microbes and primitive plants reincarnated between the lower spirit world and the land. Then about 600 million years ago, Earth's three planetary spirits saw that the time had finally come to introduce superior life forms here. First, they created the Earth's ninth dimensional spirit world and invited El Miore from Venus, the more advanced planet, to direct Earth's development. El Miore became the first ninth dimensional being in Earth's spirit group. The Grand Spirit El Miore, the very first personified spirit on Earth, set out on his first task. He transferred to the Earth the spiritual life forms that he had created in the early stages on Venus, and from them he conceived advanced animals, mainly mammals. How did El Miore go about the task of bringing these advanced animals into creation? First, he used his will to create the consciousnesses of these animals in the lower spirit world. By thinking of the concept or idea of animals such as mice, rabbits, dogs, and cats, he brought them into being in the lower spirit world. Then, one after another, he materialized these consciousnesses into the third dimension. In this way, advanced animals began thriving in the third dimension, and the system of reincarnation began to run smoothly. Then, at last, El Miore spoke with the three planetary consciousnesses of the 10th dimension, and insisted that the time had come to create humankind onto Earth. Approximately 400 million years ago, they agreed that the time was right. At this point, El Miore changed his name to El Cantare, which means the beautiful land of light, Earth. Around 2,500 years ago, part of El Cantare's consciousness took human form and lived in India as Gautama Siddhartha, who became known as Shakyamuni Buddha, the founder of Buddhism.